And we are live. Welcome to NBA Live Before Lock, everybody. Monday, November 24th. Got a weird NBA slate, and you can see it with all of the names at the top of this boom bust table right now. But we're going to break down all of it through the next hour. And when I say we, I mean me, Josh Engleman, and him, Eric Lindquist. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow us both on Twitter. What's going on, brother? We got a weird one tonight.
Yeah, weird one. 3 games that are later on as well. So a nice little evening slate if you guys want to double dip after NFL. It kind of breaks up perfectly, like 4 o'clock my time, 5:15 my time, 6:30 my time. So it's like perfectly segmented so that I can play all 3 of them and probably get destroyed. But I think this is an interesting main slate purely because we're going to have an unlimited amount of value, and we have some absolute nobodies that like Naquan Tomlin, Jaylen Tyson, who actually is kind of a person now over the course of this year. Whatever we get for a starting lineup for the Heat is really going to matter now that Norman Powell's out forever. I mean, we just have so many moving parts on this one. I'm sure everything will be very normal.
It's, the names at the top. You mentioned that we have infinite value, which is fascinating to think about, considering all of that value is not getting us to a $13,500 Nikola Jokic. A little of that having to do with what's at the top. So let's start with the queen in the room. I was going to go elephant. Queen doesn't make any sense either. It's Derrick Queen. He's 5,800. He's center only. He's 63% owned and 64% optimal right now. Now, the price is clearly just too low. Like, he's been playing more. He's been playing well. I get it all. I'm terrified of this spot today. In GPPs, like cash games, cool. Slot them in.
We've seen him play a little bit next to Zion, but like Zion, as minutes increase, production for Derrick Queen must decrease. Like, these things cannot be equal. But the problem is he's 5,800, Josh. I mean, that's just our major issue, is that he's eternally underpriced. I don't know what's going on with the algo. I don't know why it is the way that it is, but it's hard not to like it against Chicago, specifically a Chicago front court that could be without Vooch. So there's like a lot of interest we could have in Jaylen Smith as well, where you're going to be looking at potential double centers in like every lineup. It just kind of is what it is. And I suppose the one interesting part, you talk about unlocking Jokic, where, because of center scarcity's positionality, Derrick Queen's just on an island, like 200% of potential ownership that could go to the center position or whatever. You have 63% going towards Derrick Queen here. And Jokic, does he get unlocked by Jaylen Smith? Is that like enough for us to potentially get there? I don't know, but I know by being overweight to Derrick Queen right now, I have flexibility. I have swap ability to that specific spot, no matter what happens with Cleveland. So like, as I start to break down this slate and where I think news could break in a way for late swap potential for us, I obviously see the Jaylen Smith piece as like a big one for this slate. And as such, I'm just jamming Derrick Queen for the moment.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's crazy. Like, it's not that I don't want to have him. It just, like, as I look at the rest of the slate, it just feels like every lineup you build when you don't have him will look entirely different than what it looks like when he's in there. And I'm fascinated by that dynamic on a slate with this size, because it's not like it's tiny. I mean, 7 games is real. If it were 4 or 5, it's a different story. But I feel...
It feels icky.
It feels like a day where, like, tomorrow I wake up, I do the strategy show, and like the first 15 messages in chat are all about how like Derrick Queen fucked everyone. It just feels like that day for me today. I can't get it out of my head.
Like, Kevon Looney's back too, right? So like, that's the other thing that we have kind of sitting there, where I don't expect him to play a lot by any means, but Kevon Looney's in. Yves Missy's been, just awful to start off this season. Yeah. I mean, you could say that about like everybody on the Pelicans outside of Queen, but I pretty much look at what he does from a scoring perspective, like fantasy perspective. It's always nice when you're not shooting dependent. It's always nice when you've just got a cake puff matchup on the other side. You can't hate the total, 244, 245 total everywhere. It's a great spot, and it's a great piece of your cash game lineups right now. I think what I plan to do with him is not going to really be known until we know what happens with Vooch there, because I could trim a ton of that ownership between now and that game starting. And I'd be very, very happy to do it because I think no matter what, we're not going to see Queen drop below like 45, 50%. He's been the de jour chalk for like a week now, and it's just an easy click. So I think no matter what way you break this down or whatever your game plan is going into this, playing 20 max, playing 150, you're going to have some. It's just a question of what you do to be different. And for me, I think one path very, very obviously is finding any way to get to the raw fantasy producer who's projected for 68 fantasy points in Nikola Jokic. And I think one way to unlock that is playing some Cleveland chalk, getting an hour of information in our lives, and then being able to navigate what happens with Vooch. And hopefully you get a cheap piece at center too.
So let's hit the next tier of ownership. Two names that are values for the circumstances for today. One name that, I mean, I guess is technically a value, but he's just not cheap. Jaylen Tyson is 4,100. He's shooting guard, small forward eligible. And in a case with no Darius Garland, Jared Allen, DeAndre Hunter, Sam Merrill, I think I'm missing one more, Craig Porter Jr., I mean, obviously like Max Strus too, if we want to count guys that like play but aren't there. So like Jaylen Tyson's just going to have to play by default. He's got the best positionality. He's 4,100. To me, I like Jaylen Tyson as a DFS play more than I like Derrick Queen because he's just the easiest thing in the world to fit into anywhere in any structure. Caleb Love is sort of like that. I just don't trust him. Similarly owned at 40%, point guard, shooting guard eligible. We've got no Shaedon Sharpe. We've got no Drew Holiday. So I get those. And then we get an 8K Ryan Rollins with no Giannis. And you're like, you get sticker shock immediately when you see that. But it's just like, well, is Ryan Rollins just also an 8K guy? But if he is, do we need to be comparing him to like the rest of that tier? How do you feel about these guys? Because it's two value guys in 45% owned. And then it's Ryan Rollins as the breakthrough. I'm guessing there's one guy in this group that you don't like.
I absolutely love that we're doing this like podcast style. I feel like you need to do this all the time on all of your shows where you're leaning back, chilling, just have the microphone sitting back. Like this honestly could be like DFS podcast action. I kind of enjoy it, but a little bit more laissez-faire action here on LBL before things get chaotic in the next 50 minutes. We know that's coming, but
yeah, it's gonna pick up in 21 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I do too. Jaylen Tyson, under all circumstances, 0.9 fantasy point per minute producer this season. You had just a weird run out where they just completely obliterated the Clippers. 23 minutes, didn't need to get ramped up, but I was encouraged to see 27 minutes for him right from the get-go. He had been out for over 10 days, came back, played 27 minutes. And as such, Jaylen Tyson, I feel the exact same way about him as what you do. Shooting guard, small forward puts him in 5 different lineup spots, and it's a piece of early information that I can build around. I know I need to get away from a ton of Derrick Queen if he fails. I know I can play a ton of Derrick Queen if he succeeds. I know that there's like certain things I can do with certain lineups where, and again, not that I wouldn't play some anyway, but the whole point is that I want to get that early information so I know kind of what lineup spots to be able to move around. And he's so versatile with what he does. And 4,100, it's just underpriced for a 0.9 fantasy point per minute guy who has to play a ton. Don't forget too, Lonzo Ball, we're not expecting some massive amount of minutes for him either. So like your typical backup behind him there is not exactly going to be like cutting into any kind of time whatsoever. It's a good fantasy producer when he's out on the floor, but like you just go through these other pieces. They've been pretty apprehensive to give crazy amount of run to Larry Nance. They've been pretty apprehensive. Yeah. I mean, we're going to see a little bit of Luke Travers in some capacity today, but I ran a lot of stuff for Cleveland today, and pretty much all of it from a DFS perspective gets me landing on Tyson. I think his props looking across the industry look pretty efficient, but they're pretty inflated for what you would expect for Jaylen Tyson here at the moment. So yeah, he's definitely one of those guys that could look, I mean, he looks great now, and he could look impenetrable if Dean Wade's out too, because that's just another guy that they would lose off the pecking order. We're getting more shorthanded as we go. We might have to have a conversation about some of these other idiots, Tyrese Proctor, things of that nature, if we really get down to the 9. But I doubt we're going to be that strapped to value. But overall, I'm completely with you. I think he's my favorite chalk piece right now. I would be just jamming him if the slate started this second.
I agree. We're on the same page here. Do you have similar vibes for Caleb Love? Because at least on the last run, prior to this show starting, so something in the 10 minutes ago range, Massive positive leverage, 41% ownership, 55% optimal. Do you have the same vibes for Kevin? Or yeah, I almost said Kevin Love. Caleb Love probably could be his kid.
Caleb Love at North Carolina was annoying. Then he takes on my Cyclones. Arizona hits a half quarter at the buzzer, led to our demise of a season. Annoying. This year he goes from Inferno to a complete dud. Annoying. Caleb Love is going to be annoying. He is an annoying piece at 4,500, but I'm just jamming him too because he's 4,500. He likes to chuck. And there is no doubt whatsoever in my mind that he is out there. Tiago Splitter is rolling him out there to chuck. And with Sissoko, with Kamara, with some of these other guys that, I mean, their minutes are so fragile. I guess Kamara a little less so. I mean, obviously he's out there for he's got an incredible wingspan, incredible defensive presence, but you do not have Chris Murray out there to go put up points. Ryan Rupert. They don't really have anything else off the bench. He gets to just chuck. Anytime that Denny Avdia is not out there commanding offense, Jeremy Grant is out there knocking down shots. And I think it's actually a +2 having both of them in the starting lineup where, you're probably only going to deal with one of them a majority of this game for Caleb Love. So he's my least favorite type of value because he is very shooting dependent. He's going to need to put up some raw points for you, but the price tag, I think, more than makes up for it. And people I think they have the same vibes I do. It's not a comfortable piece. I think we would normally see somebody, if he had a more well-rounded box score, if his name wasn't Caleb Love, I think we would see him about 55%. But there is a hot and cold presence to it. I think you just kind of have to embrace it more times than not because, at 4,500 it is hard for him to really burn you. And I say that knowing that he's got like 2 for 22 written all over this.
And then that gets us to the 8K Ryan Rollins pulling 45% ownership. I'm not I like him. He's really good. This kind of ownership implies that he should be like 9K today.
It's tough. And I love Ryan Rollins. I actually bet his over 2.5 threes. Yeah. It was really, really cheap on Novig inside of -110, which was broken. It's kind of -130 north at every other book in sight. It's kind of wild to see Ryan Rollins because, he had started the season really, really slow and then just picked it up immediately. I know I'm saying like 2 or 3 games really early on. Yeah. The 3-point shot is just, he is a sniper at this point in time. He looks really, really good. But now you start to have to command the offense on a day in, day out basis. It's just a completely different role. We've seen the assist rate stay pretty much intact. The minutes are outrageous, playing 40, 34, not like Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe minutes, but like still pretty nice allotment for a guy this early in the season here. Sans Giannis, decent, really good fantasy point per minute rate, but don't love it against Portland. I can tell you that much. I know that everybody good defensively is out here. Drew Holiday's not out there by any means, but this is still a team that has Toumani Camara that can be that dude. It's really hard for me to want to play an 8K Ryan Rollins when I can get to the 9K range, trim a ton of ownership, and I have a shooting guard small forward. Again, if Jaylen Tyson fails, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble, but this is kind of like the puzzle you're putting together today. Where are your late swap opportunities? Where's the value you want to eat early? What are you really willing to embrace? And that game's at 8 p.m. Eastern time, so at least we have some time to chill and kind of figure it out from there. But slate starting now, there's no way I'd be playing 46%. My first run, I had 20% in my top 20. I'm going to play 20 over there, playing 150 on FanDuel. I think no matter what on FanDuel, he's going to be somebody that I have to play at 8K. Shooting guard eligibility as well. But over on DK right now, the ownership is just out of control.
You and I are sharing the exact same thoughts on Ryan Rollins. Love him. Think he's good. Think he's real. Just on a day like today, I see a lot of names that I can click on that are comparable that are just not getting that sort of ownership. So we've got that interesting 4-pack at the top. Then we see a really steep drop in tier. We get to Denny Avdia at 30% owned. He's 9,300. Then we finally get a name that we're not, and I don't mean to disrespect Denny because I love him, but then we finally get a name that we were expecting to see in Evan Mobley at 8,400 with all these guys out, but he's pretty reasonably owned. And then it's just more of this mess from Cleveland. So that's where I want to lead this conversation, is just Cleveland in general, because they're all at the top of this list right now. It's Tyson, who we've already touched on. It's Evan Mobley, who I just mentioned. And then we get this pack of Naquan Tomlin, Tyrese Proctor, I mean, Lonzo's 20% owned today. Mitchell at 15 starts to get you into a conversation of like, well, what is that in comparison to Denny type stuff? Dean Wade, obviously not all that owned. Luke Travers could look a little bit different in the next 45 minutes for sure. Is there a guy on this Cleveland team that you're like earmarking as a guy today? Or do you like, how do you feel about this mid-tier slop for Cleveland?
I really like Evan Mobley a lot. I like him more than the 25% on your screen. 8,400 for him. Again, no more early information. And part of it, I mean, we have a ton of sample size here. No Jared Allen, no Darius Garland. 199 minutes, not crazy this season, but going back to last year as well. 1.36 DraftKings points per minute, 29% usage, even playing alongside Donovan Mitchell for a lot of those minutes. You're talking a guy who has learned to shoot threes in the last 2 years. That was a big part of my betting portfolio last year, was betting Evan Mobley as he started to take more shots. And it just looked like it was going to happen and have these looks. 20.7% assist rate isn't nothing. 12% rebound rate. I mean, you go through everything, and yeah, it's Toronto on the other side, probably the most surprising team in the Eastern Conference this season from a positive perspective, but playing without a major piece for them on that one. There are a lot of pieces that I want to try to kind of parse into tournament lineups along with something from Cleveland that is more in the expensive side of things, because we're all going to play the value. We're all going to play Jaylen Tyson. I think Tomlin, talk to me a little bit about Tomlin, Proctor, because again, we're going to have to talk about these dudes, but for me, if Dean Wade is in, I can talk myself out of trying to like really going overweight to these dudes. If he is out, this becomes a cluster F. And I don't know what to tell you, because I can't imagine Luke Travers is going to play a ton, but Tyrese Proctor, I know is like the Craig Porter Jr. role now. Darius Garland, like it just is what it is. And I think you have to embrace that at a flat 3K. He's overowned right now, but again, a different position, but no matter how you slice it, this is a spot where I'm going to play Evan Mobley. Donovan Mitchell's kind of been your boy, so I'll let you talk about him. But yeah, for me, Evan Mobley's the dude.
Yeah, the price on Mitchell's not exciting for today, but it kind of just feels like every pay up option on the day is overpriced. Like, I don't love the price on Denny. I don't love the price on Jokic. I don't love the price on Cade for today. Like, the next guy up is Josh Giddey. I think he's like high 8s, low 9s. I'm not really married to any part of that range. So as I look at this, like a 15% owned Donovan Mitchell on a day like today, again, like that just, I'm really drawn to this like 10 to 15% range of pay up dudes that just feel like they should be getting a little bit more love than they are. And I like Mitchell in this spot. And like, if I'm looking at the value for Cleveland, realistically, I think I lean more towards Tomlin than Proctor. But at the same time, like a 3K punt guard, like, I don't know how I turn that down either. Like, Cleveland's just loaded with some stuff you don't really want.
I think what makes it uncomfortable is you don't have like the certainty of getting to a Luka that's underpriced, like an 11K Luka. You don't have a 10-5 Cade Cunningham on this slate. He's up to 10-8 now. We don't have Şengün in the 9s that you have been playing a lot and identifying a lot. Like, these guys have now been priced for how good they've been to start off this season. And so you get these projections that outside of Jokic are just all between 40 and 50. And we know that they're all capable of 55. And so, again, the Mobley one's just my favorite by far because he's 8,400. Scotty Barnes is 8,600. There's a guy at power forward in Karl Anthony Towns that I'm surprised is pulling, pretty negligible ownership as well. There's so many of these guys that are my preferences, and they all tend to be at power forward because I can play Naquan Tomlin small forward. I can play shooting guard Tyson. So, like, it's kind of a positional thing as I'm looking through the Sims, looking through some of my favorite lineups. And again, the Dean Wade piece, some people might not really recognize as important as what it could be, just because it's one body who can play minutes that has been in the rotation year in, year out, one of the best defenders in the NBA. And all of a sudden you would be going towards, we have no Hunter out there either. So there's just going to be some mismatched kind of lineups that we're going to have to deal with. And there's upside on the other side of this game with all of those guys who are just a little bit more expensive than you would want. But with RJ Barrett out, feels like tournament clicks, Ingram, Barnes, off the bench, Jamal Shed. Like, there's certain pieces that I think are interesting to me today. And yeah, I guess it's like, if you have a strong lean between 8,500 and 10K, on who's going to go off, play the value in accordance to that and try to like figure it out. Roulette. I'm just Rolodexing through a lot of these dudes, just a little bit overweight to Denny. 37% of my top 150. I'm a little bit overweight to Cat. Oh God, Dean Wade's out.
There it is.
All right.
Dean Wade, not going to be making it to this one.
Great. Awesome.
Naquan Tomlin, come on down.
This is just so bad. Who's the fifth starter? Who's the fifth starter? And I'm very happy that Rich is on projections today. Cleveland's guy.
I'm counting these players in my head, and I'm running out of names I know from Cleveland.
Larry Nance is who I'm leading. But
so Mitchell, Mobley, Tyson.
Locks. Tomlin, I'd be surprised if he didn't. He just put Thomas Bryant's name in there. Don't put Thomas Bryant's name in there, please. Don't have me watch my center, who I have to play at his price tag, shoot threes and not rebound. That's the Thomas Bryant experience.
I think Tomlin will be one.
We got DK throwing this up here as well. You think Tomlin for sure, along with so Lonzo? I guess Lonzo would probably be the chalk. That's a good call. That's a good call.
I could also see this being Proctor.
Oh my God.
And you try to keep Mitchell and Lonzo separated a bit. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't matter. It's about to be somebody, and they're more interesting than they were 5 minutes ago. Whatever.
The guy who doesn't start is going to be interesting too. Outside of the thing with ball is when he doesn't start, I almost always just hit eject because it's like, what are the minutes? What are the minutes? Like he's been having kitty gloves for like 4 years, and that's not even an understatement. It's been like 4 years of dealing with Lonzo Ball, either not playing basketball for like 2.5 years of it, or like playing such limited amounts. And he's just a headache if he starts at 4,400 because I feel like I'd have to play him. Feel like I could go to 26, 28 minutes. But I mean, this is just purely an availability thing. We have nobody available to us.
Speaking of who's available, here are the available players for the Cleveland Cavaliers: Donovan Mitchell, Jaylen Tyson, Naquan Tomlin, Larry Nance, Evan Mobley, Lonzo Ball, Thomas Bryant, Tyrese Proctor, whatever the fuck a Chris Livingston is, and Luke Travers.
Oh,
Chris Livingston, if they tell me that, I think they accidentally included like the trainer or like the team doctor or something.
Dude, he played at Kentucky. That's a blue blood school. And I do not remember this guy at all.
Chris Livingston?
Yeah, at all.
He sounds like he played in like 1984. He probably played with like Larry Nance Sr. Oh my God. That would make more sense to me.
EMAC was making it's Ball starting. And Nance starting. Oh my God. This is just
I didn't see Nance coming because they haven't seemed to really like him lately.
Bro.
Let me just read that out then for everybody. The starting lineup for the Cavs will be Ball, Mitchell, Tyson, Nance, and Evan Mobley. I really didn't expect Evan Mobley. They seemed like pretty sour on him over the past 4 weeks.
Yeah. He's always been like a guy you could kind of click on and feel somewhat confident. I hate that he's center only. I hate it. I knew something garbage like this was going to happen. 3,200. Played 25 minutes against Atlanta. That's his high point of the entire season. Going through some of this, I mean, it is just filthy that they would do this to us.
It's him being center only is miserable for today.
Sure is. Rich, please don't put him over 20 fantasy points. Please, I beg of you. Unless you have to, because it's your job. But like also, I don't want to play Larry Nance chalk. I don't. I think
special level of comical to the shooting guard small forward position on Lonzo Ball.
What?
He doesn't look like crazy different, right? But like he's going to go from 20 to like 35% owned or something.
Yeah.
He's obviously not taking on like a massive chunk of playing time from this. That's going to come from probably other idiots. But even if you give Lonzo a minute and a half, that's going to take him from 20 to 30 something owned and optimal.
And with Allen and Garland,
Nance is a question now. Like I'm gonna filter this down to centers for right now. Obviously, the Nance data isn't going to be updated, but I think we need to start looking at this from a like what else is out there at center perspective now.
Oh, I mean, you could get a 4,300 Jaylen Smith playing. I would project him for a lot more, like 26, 28 minutes. That's more than I'm going to project Nance for. Like that's kind of the ideal situation there. You also have Patrick Williams kind of waiting in the wings there. I mean, it's an opportunity cost thing to some extent, but again, everybody's on Derrick Queen. That's not going to change. Yeah. And so we're still going to be able to have lineups that can go and get that if we really want it or if we need it. I hate this so much because when we get this updated, 3,200 center changes the equation quite a bit. I mean, the minutes are just so impossible for me to figure out what to do with. Because as you said, like they just don't seem to like him at all or give him any kind of leeway.
I thought he would be like a fixture in the rotation as like the third big.
I mean, maybe kind of
like he was just going to play 20 minutes a night moving forward. And they were like, nah, we're good. I'd rather have your dad.
Are we just taking Naquan Tomlin off the floor then? Because he's a good fantasy producer to some extent. Like,
I mean, realistically, he's got to play 18 plus minutes, right? Just by default.
Yep. I mean, he's played 6 minutes this entire season. Like, we're talking about somebody like theoretically good at DFS, but more of like looking at some preseason stuff here. But God, this is an eternal headache. Thomas Bryant.
I'm waiting for the winning lineup tonight to be like, just as I'm looking at it, like it's like a Bam Adebayo, Isaiah Jackson combo or something. There's so many. It's Derrick Queen and then 15 other centers that are the same play. Now, like obviously Nance is about to, the geometry of all of this is going to change a little bit, but I just look at this sea of like mid-tier centers. And it's not like I have a lean on one, but I like them so much more than their ownership is showing. Whether that's Duren, Pirtle, Bam. Obviously, I've mentioned Jokic before. There's no reason you can't play Donovan Clingan, Daniel Gafford, Nick Claxton, Miles Turner. Like all those guys are real just starting centers. No interest whatsoever. To me, this is like the most natural pivot spot of the day, which would leave me, watching Derrick Queen drop 50 and me just walking straight out into the ocean.
I mean, I will say it's like 90%, but there's not 100% chance Khalil Ware starts, and that would make Bam look like the best center play at his ownership on the entire slate.
He's 7,800.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would want to get to all the Bam in all the land. I bet his rebounds. I bet a couple of other things, but I don't think it's just, again, you downgrade it ever so slightly and you take Ware off. The rebound rate obviously is what you're caring about the most there, but I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. Eric Spoelstra will troll from time to time, and they've been doing this more. It's like, oh, now we just expect them to start together going forward, and then all of a sudden they won't. And then it's like, oh, now we just don't expect them to start together. It kind of depends on the matchup. This would be a matchup I think you could get away from playing the two of them together. PJ Washington at the 4, Gafford down low. Like you could play Bam and just kind of figure it out from there. But I'm with you where I think that there's a lot of really nice mid-range center plays that could really think like, again, Bam is 7,800. And if you don't have Khalil Ware on the floor with him to start off, I would want to get to all of that and a bag of potato chips. You brought up Isaiah Jackson, though. This is the price tag I've been staring at all day as like potential nuke of the night. I can't do it today with the center position. I refuse. What happened in this Cleveland game? Like, this is really what's bugging me. He had 3 fouls, period, in 18 minutes, but like no production.
Brandon Williams in.
And is it just because Benedict Matherin's there and there's weird stuff going on where maybe it's like a different role to some extent, but like it feels as though Isaiah Jackson, if you gave him any kind of minutes, he'd just be like an absolute can't miss smash. He's 4K flat. He played 27 minutes against Detroit, up against Duren, and put up 40. That was useful. That was very useful. Double action. I know I bet that because I tailed DK on that, but what's going on with his minutes? Because you've also been an Isaiah Jackson guy.
I have. And I don't think Nikola Vucevic out. I was about to give a rousing push for what Emac mentioned, which is Jay Huff, who has played like 26 minutes in the past 2 games and also has power forward eligibility with no ownership whatsoever. He's even less interesting now than he was 30 seconds ago, but I wanted to mention him.
Yeah, I love Jay Huff.
He has power forward eligibility.
I know. And he knocks down threes ad nauseum on DraftKings.
Is he going to play 24 minutes a night? Because if he's 24 minutes a night, he is wildly underpriced. It just feels like it doesn't even matter today.
They just decided to flip the switch on that. And again, they could flip the switch back. That's what I'm saying is like 27, 26 minutes because things are going very poorly. I don't know if anybody noticed. Indiana's not having straight up not having a good time, that gif. And that's basically the Indiana organization post Tyrese Halliburton going pop goes the weasel. But I am in line with something from a tournament perspective there. But yeah, far less so now that we are now going to have a Jaylen Smith conversation. Hopefully you like updating projections every 5 minutes, Rich, because that's your night.
Am I stupid somehow to this?
Yes.
Really no changes to the top end here. Jaylen Tyson still 50. Mobley didn't move. Proctor didn't move. Tomlin didn't move. Ball didn't move. Larry Nance is 2%. What do you want to do there?
Withdraw my lineups.
Because now... Wait, is that... Rich, thank you. Thank you. Not updated. Makes more sense to me. Typically, that timestamp is right when I get to see the ownership.
Thing made no sense to me, so that was the giveaway.
No, it hasn't moved.
What the hell?
Hasn't moved.
Scares the shit out of everybody. He could go completely nuclear at 3,200.
I mean, based on what we're seeing right now, there's no reason to even fear him. He's useless.
That's weird. That I'm fearing him because he starts and he gets first crack at ruining my life.
I mean, obviously, we're going to get an update again in a couple seconds, and Jaylen Smith is going to become Derrick Queen.
Yep, sure is.
So that will... Scott McMillan says everyone's smashing Smith. Not in this.
Yeah,
that's not there yet. But they will be shortly. I don't know.
Lachlan
Shout out Jay Huff.
Ulbrich. Are we gonna put minutes to Lachlan Ulbrich, who looks like a folk singer? I mean,
that's not an NBA player, is it?
It sure is. Pull up his picture. He is.
That sounds like the lead singer of like Mumford and Sons.
He looks like the lead singer of Mumford and Sons. Like legitimately, everything you're saying is so unbelievably correct.
Lachlan Ulbrich.
Ulbrich.
Dave Lachlan?
I'd be more familiar. That'd be good. But yeah, he's an Aussie boy. He's gonna be your backup.
Wasn't picturing that dude.
Yep.
Didn't picture that dude. Center. That's a name I haven't had to talk about yet so far in this first month. I typically get there eventually. We got some super chats we got to hit. Clinton Leatherwood hit us with this one. Single entry player trying the mini-max. Do I need exposure caps or ride with this 90% queen the Sims are giving me? Love you guys. Totally up to you. Not the answer you're looking for. It's your world. You don't like 90%? Don't make it 90%. The Sims are going to give you a boatload of positive ROI lineup. So if you look at Derrick Queen's number and you're like, I don't like that, I'd like it to be 50, then make it 50. All the lineups that get filled in behind that are also going to be good lineups. There is no downside whatsoever now in our simulation tools to not play the stuff you want, because you'll get it. If you can get it and get positive sim ROI lineups for the large majority of the guys that you want to have in those lineups. So if 90% queen is making you sick to your stomach, just don't do it. I don't blame you. I don't like it either.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. And we could go back and forth and talk about, like, again, what's your long-term goals in DFS and, trimming some of the variants of the entire exploration phase of like figuring out, all right, how do I build a 150 set? What do I do with that? But Clint, you're in the Discord too. You're in the Lindy and Friends Discord. So if you ever have questions about that, hit me up in the DFS channel. I don't always check that one every single day. But if you hit me up, we'll be able to talk through the process of a slate like this. I could do, 15, 20 minutes of what I do before I go on the show, kind of running through stuff so that, again, I never want things to be concrete in NBA DFS. I always want to be able to allow for new information to change my mind. And I think Derrick Queen, he's not going to be 95%, I don't think, in your next run based on the way I understand how things are going to work with Jaylen Smith. Maybe you get a lot, but you're naturally not going to get 90, 95% anymore at 150.
Olrad asks, should I have any of Larson or Kashad Johnson for Miami?
Larson's fine. Kashad Johnson, absolutely not.
Yeah, they're guys on this slate.
We
have lineups, it's not a problem. Larson in particular, but they are uneventful plays, I would say.
We just have way better value.
This slate is picking up. It's starting to get even weirder than I was expecting. But we got to take a pause to talk about Tails, folks. Head to the link in the description and download the Tails app. It couldn't get any easier. It's not going to cost you anything. All you're going to do is get more information about likely what you want in a easier format. Because if you're here, I would imagine you have certainly interest in DFS, at the very least, like ancillary interest in the sports betting and pick'em communities. It's all here for you. You can follow along to every single free pick that gets posted and get an idea of what's going on there. I'm posting some DFS stuff there as well. Eric's got a package you could subscribe to. Friend of the program, DK DFS. I saw Supreme Juice in here as well. A lot of people on Tails that are in the chat right now that you can subscribe to if you want to. Give them a couple extra shekels. But you don't have to do that at all. So download the app. We are building this out on a day-to-day basis, and new stuff is getting added constantly. The features that exist now will be plentiful added to this by this point in time next year. So get in now. And when you do, don't be afraid to leave a review in the App Store. Maybe throw a couple extra stars on there if you can. It would be incredibly helpful to us. We are trying to grow this even more, and it helps with you guys. So for a free app, I don't think that's a lot to ask. Hit that link in the description if you can. I'm going to assume that we're getting closer to another update.
Yeah, we're definitely. It's a lot. There's a lot going on for different things left and right. I mean, Kevin Huerter being out in addition, with some of these guys on the Bulls side, just kind of getting my stuff updated here as well. It's just going to be a cluster, but the point remains. There we go. Yeah.
We're waiting on ownership for about 30 seconds. So we can filibuster until that point is out. Anybody that you want to talk about for today that we haven't even been in the universe of?
Asar Thompson back in the starting lineup today, so that's good to see. Wanted to bring that up just as it popped up, but let's talk some of the spend ups, because now we've talked about the value, and we're going to have some of this other value that's going to show up. Isaiah Jackson continuing to start, Shepard, Mathurin. All right, good. Normal stuff from Indy as well. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye sniper on that because, well, these next 20 minutes are going to be bonkers for everybody. But let's talk about these spend up guys, because look how many power forwards we have that are playable that could just make or break your night. Evan Mobley, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, who, now that you get Benedict Mathurin looks way, 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 way worse, but you still have Deni Avdija, who's going to be pulling massive chalk here. And then Karl Anthony Towns. It's just wild to see Denny on a back-to-back here. No Shaedon Sharpe. I think he probably deserves ownership. Does he deserve all of this ownership up here? No, but Michael Porter Jr., Zion Williamson. There are just so many good plays for tournaments today, and I have a tough time trying to parse through them, so I wanted to get your opinion on your favorites.
I'm going to hold off on that answer for a second until we see whatever this ends up looking like when this ownership update hits, because I just need to see whatever the hell Jaylen Smith is about to be for reference sake, because I think that might change some of my answers here. By the way, Jacoby Walter starting for Toronto. That's been the expectation all day in place of RJ Barrett. So that's not going to make any changes to anything we have here. I'm just waiting out that final ownership refresh. This should jump to like seconds, and then we're gonna be good. Unless I'm wrong and it already happened.
So funny. You wake up in the morning.
No,
It's like, I think I'm going to play 3,600 Jamal Shed. It's like, can I even play 3,600 Jamal Shed anymore? It's not even playable.
So the ownership is not updated yet, but that's a 59% boom score on Jaylen Smith, which is 2 percentage points or a percentage point ahead of Derrick Queen.
Yeah, it kind of ruins that this news came out earlier. I brought it up from the onset. That was the huge edge to it. The edge to this slate was just having Derrick Queen sitting, waiting in the wings and turning a bunch of that into Jaylen Smith, because for all intents and purposes, they're both unbelievably good plays. And Jaylen Smith is the better of the two plays now, which is an insane thing to say out loud, considering we've seen it from Derrick Queen so much. And I think there's already built-in ownership from people who just naturally fall on a guy, or, it's been a week of him not really letting anybody down. He's going out and stealing basketballs at the end of games. They're down 30 for layups and just insane shit from this dude.
Crazy.
It's incredible. But yeah, Jaylen Smith, 78%. I don't care. I'm playing an eternal amount of Jaylen Smith. I'm going to probably lock button him.
Yeah. Like if you thought that Derrick Queen was easy to get to earlier today, this is on a completely different level. $1,500 cheaper, no threat behind him. None. Like extra special talented offensively. It's not like we're getting a defensive center soaking this up. It's full stop offense. He looks great.
Pretty useful.
Looks great.
Pretty useful. I'm begging people not to
swap. I guess Jokic is probably less owned now, right? By like a lot.
Yeah. You have another center that just showed up. I think he came up a tiny bit purely because
salary. Yeah, he's 12. No other center is more than 10.
Yeah, and probably shouldn't. The Bam one is still. I love that our look at the optimal still on Bam. I was going to nuke of the night him too as well. I'm not confident enough. I think it's about a 90% chance that him and Khalil Ware start next to each other here. But there's that 10%, that Eric Spoelstra 10% where you just see Bam play alone at the 5 to start this thing off. And it is.
I think that's what's happening, by the way.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Then I'm very happy with my bets because they're going to have lovely CLV when we get to the end of this night. But man, that would make me happy. I mean, he's not being projected that way anywhere. And I kind of was just like, I feel like I'm losing my mind a little bit because with Tyler Hero back, kind of changes the equation to some extent. And you look at the matchup on the other side where you just don't need the double big. And they've utilized it in spots where it's like, yeah, the double big made some sense here recently. But anyway, awesome. Bam will continue.
I mean, they're obviously going to go to it at some point for sure. But like, I think it matters that there's no Jovic around.
I do too.
Okay. I want to point out a piece of data before chat has an aneurysm talking about doing nukes. Jaylen Smith, call it 60% boom, 60% optimal. Derrick Queen, 60% boom, 60% optimal. The overwhelming likelihood is that one of those two guys doesn't boom. We don't know which one, but like mathematically, it's one of two. I assume you prefer Smith to Queen.
I do. I prefer the 1,500 of savings. I prefer the guy who hasn't been chalk for a week. I prefer this all kind of knowing that we've got, I don't know if anybody's noticing. I've been looking at the post-contest sims a lot more this NBA season, and it's been softer. It definitely has been.
Yes,
some of my lineups have looked better. I haven't necessarily accumulated on some of this ROI, but if you're using our data, you're in such a good spot relative to where you were a year ago today, to the date. You're in a much better spot to make money. And I want to allow for some of that casual mindset of like, all right, Derrick Queen, he's chalk. He's been written up by everybody. I'm sure EMAC had a blog about our guy, Derrick Queen today. And I absolutely love to see it because it was correct at the time that he wrote it. It's not correct right now because I do not believe enough people are going to hit eject the way that they should on some of that Derrick Queen ownership and just transfer it to Jaylen Smith. And, 1,500 does a lot for me to be able to mix and match some of those 9K guys and get to a little bit more Jokic and to get to some things that I kind of want to, like some targeted lineups in, a 20 max set, in a 150 set. So there is that. I think FanDuel's a pain in the ass. Like, FanDuel is a disaster now. Pull up FanDuel. So I just ran some of my FanDuel stuff, and Jaylen Smith is 60% over there. This is probably where I'm going to allow myself to get to some of the Jokic one and play just four value Cavs and mix and match a little bit if he's going to be 60%. And so I feel pretty good being overweight to him, just jamming on DK. On FanDuel, where you can only play one of the centers, and you can play power forward, center, Derrick Queen. You can play power forward. I'm going to probably get away from just full on jamming Jaylen Smith over there purely because of 12-8 Jokic. He's underpriced there. We have positive value coming in on, or positive leverage coming in on him there. That is going to Jokic is probably going to be my FanDuel nuke for everybody. And not that sexy of a nuke there, but we just have enough value. It shouldn't be a problem.
He said it. Might as well do it. The floor is yours, sir. Nuke of the night time. Who's it going to be?
All right. We talked about all these power forwards. And again, I'm having a tough time being able to parse through everybody and everything that we should or should not be doing here. But there's one guy on this slate that I don't understand why he's not more popular. And I know Jalen Brunson's on the other side of this one, but Karl-Anthony Towns disappointed people against Orlando last time out here. He is 9,500. There's no Mitchell Robinson. Watch rebound props as they go up to like 13.5, 14.5 for Karl-Anthony Towns in some of these spots. And I know the usage isn't completely insane, but like there are so many power forward plays. And I just don't know if people are going to get to the most expensive one, especially people who are going over there and hand building and putting things together that way. I get it. The points prop's not that appealing. It looks like an overpay against Brooklyn, but even with these more limited minutes in the post-Tibbs era, we're going to see some massive games against bad teams from Karl-Anthony Towns. It doesn't hurt my feelings that we're going to continue to have OG Anunoby out here, the Landry Shamet's out here, who's only out there to shoot, even though the usage has been way, way down there. And you're going to probably get some minutes for Hart, who, again, his rebound numbers are the ones that really look elevated after Mitch Robinson. But I really like the idea of getting to a low-owned Karl-Anthony Towns in this spot. Nuke of the night.
I think we're on the exact same path, just a different dude. You're going to a $9,500 power forward, Karl-Anthony Towns, no Mitchell Robinson, going to be playing a little bit more at 5, looking better. Get it. Agree. 100% agree. I want to do the same thing at the guard spot. Give me Donovan Mitchell. Nobody's there. Why doesn't he just take this game over? 11% owned, 12% owned, 13% owned. I don't like the price tag for sure, but I don't have to care about the price tag either. There's enough value now, not to mention most of the value that really looks good. Jaylen Smith, Derrick Queen doesn't affect my positionality for Donovan Mitchell one bit. Would I like to pick Jokic here at 13.5? Yeah, it seems weird. But this is Donovan Mitchell's show. Or I guess it's a co-show, if you want to say that it is, with Evan Mobley, but there's not a lot more people that get to be on the poster. And I'm willing to take that shot on Mitchell here with nobody else around. He's going to gun. He's just going to let it, we're not going to look back and find out that he shot 12 shots. I'll take that chance. Even if I have to pay up to be contrarian.
Don't hate it whatsoever. I think that's a great call. Again, this is kind of the way that I just look at this slate. It's finding some of these stands that you can make, some calculated stands in the 8-9K range. I'm kind of going through it right now, kind of sorting. Again, just for 20 max over on DK, pretty easy to just kind of like sort and to be able to like pick the lineups that I want that have Zion, I think, who I doubt there's like a massive minute ceiling for him whatsoever, but even alongside Derrick Queen, I expect him to still be your alpha going forward. Just be weird to me if they played through Derrick Queen going forward as opposed to Zion Williamson, but he's played really nicely. He's got a great game. But yeah, there's these 8K, 9K guys. Karl Anthony Towns, he's going to be mine. I really like the Mitchell shout out at guard.
Rich asked, what about Giddey? It's a school night. Not interested.
Jesus. So that means he should be more interested and really play.
Nah, he's got to get home. They've got to make like a paper mache diorama, the solar system or something tonight.
Oh my God,
but maybe we can take him here. If you're ever going to grab Josh Giddey for something, White of the Night is probably the spot to do it. Tricky time to do it today because we're going to have to do a little bit of research on some of these names at the top.
Yeah.
Might need to add it as a column to the table for us.
Yeah, I would. Oh man, there's nothing good that could possibly come out of my mouth right now. So I'm just going to give you Nikola Jokic because I can, and that's quick and easy and safe.
I'm going to go a slightly different direction.
You're going to go say Kobe White. Good. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Oh,
I really
are you going to do that to me?
Because I knew I can see how you operate now. I apologize. I know that was a big reveal for you. You were really excited. You wanted to do it. Does he get enough minutes to be the White of the Night? Because I don't even know.
He's more owned than Giddey. He's 7,600. He back, brother. 7,600. Kobe White. Not going to Giddey today, baby. Shooting guard only. Plays into this center value day. The White of the Night is Kobe White. It's right there for us.
Oh my God.
Giddey? Nah.
He does have Kobe White. Greatest... Wow, bro. Wow. One of the greatest post NBA draft press conferences of all time. So that's what I always think of. I try not to remember the UNC days when he torched Duke, but yeah, Kobe White. I've always liked that guy. So yeah, he's in 10% of my lives. I have him in 2. So yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right. Who is the Wuhan novel coronavirus play of the day? Who's
no matter what you do,
kills us here?
I mean, who kills us? Absolutely. Jaylen Smith is coming in underowned in some capacity. I just know it in my heart that Derrick Queen is going to pull more ownership of the 2. I know it shows on the screen there. It's just this thing that keeps happening in this current climate of NBA DFS. It has been soft. It has been winnable. I would like to win. I would like Jaylen Smith to just play basketball here and fantastic. I brought up that idiot earlier. I mean, obviously, we're going to see Lachlan Olbrich come in and put up 40 from the Southern Hemisphere. Olbrich, it's just going to be absurd. But yeah, Jaylen Smith absolutely is going to kill me because I have 100% of him.
To me, it's Ryan Rollins. And based on the negative leverage in the tool, I feel pretty damn good about that. 40% owned, 26% optimal. It will be very interesting to see what his ownership really is in the flagship contests, because in this case, like if he ends up just coming in closer to his optimal rate, then like I don't have a problem with Ryan Rollins. But if he really is 40 and we think he's 27, that's the guy I don't want.
Yep.
And I think there's just so many other ways to go.
It's ironic to me. I have 5% of him, but I definitely need 3 threes from him. That would make me happy. Yay betting and DFS when they collide, but I'm with you. Absolutely with you.
No idea what Giddey being more correlated with Smith means, but I'll look into it.
I feel like they have no impact on one another. Like
most players don't. Like pretty much all of them. Yeah, pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
But yes, Giddey does get assists. Mitch Williams, you're my guy, Eric. Josh, love your starting five. Mitch Williams, thank you.
Appreciate you, Mitch. Thank you.
You're our guy.
We appreciate
You're our
you.
guy. Queen or where? Quite different questions there. I mean, it's Queen by a million miles if we're just talking about like which one's the better play.
Yeah, not remotely the same island. They are completely different planets.
No, that's a tough swapsies there. 3 minutes to go. How are you doing? You got your lineups in? I'm free to handle this if you need me to.
Yeah, I'm trying to sneak one more run in if I can. I uploaded something just in case because that's something that I always forget you can do. You're allowed to do that, and for whatever reason, I don't always choose to do that. But just kind of making sure I get the right amounts of some of these guys. What's nice is you just sort it by fantasy points. You just kind of make sure, all right, I got the cat that I want here. I got everything else that I want here. Just kind of making it easy on the fly and going from there. I am going to give a tiny little boost to Bam Adebayo here. I only got 5% Bam in my last run. I want to get to that. I want him in a couple more lineups. I really, if you have a feeling that I have as well, where we could potentially see where not start, I really like that play today. I think that could be the center that potentially swings the pendulum away from just value chalk smashing, but more than likely value chalk smashes. Hopefully it's the Jaylen Smith side of things.
Don't forget, guys, I know we've got 2 minutes left, but we're not done having shows tonight. NFL Live Before Lock is coming up next in about 15 minutes. You got Panthers-Niners tonight for Monday Night Football. And the boys in front of us or behind us are going to take you all the way up until 8:15. So get ready. We're not done here. We got plenty more to do. But from an NBA perspective, you guys better get your stuff in because you've got 90 seconds to lock these lineups in before some of these games just go poof and you can't make any changes. Tyrese Proctor now is the 7th most owned guy on the slate.
Yeah, by 50% of him.
Yeah, that 3K price tag is incredibly appealing.
Yep. The other guy I'm making a pretty noticeable stand in this last run, Josh Hart, talked about him for a quick second. I just like the idea of him and Cat. There's not just because of one thing that they're able to do here as well, but they just fit into lineups in that mid-range. And I think one of them could really, really, really be the nuclear piece that you want. Other guy that I really don't like on this one, Igor. If this Igor fellow decides to play basketball today, I'm going to be really, really pissed off. He has such a cap to what his minutes can be. It feels like still like he'd really have to go nutties again. Like he did that mega chalk day for no reason where he was like 15% owned for absolutely no reason, had the first good game of his life. I saw Jesse tilting that as well. So felt akin to my guy Jesse for the first time ever. One more little boost on Donovan Mitchell, and my lineups are in, and we are ready to rock.
There we go. We're in. All right. One final question before we leave. This isn't a nuke thing. Is Nikola Jokic the highest scoring player on today's slate?
Oh, man. Well, now it's a math thing. So, no, I'll take the field.
Yeah.
You got to take the field there. It's probably, I'm just kind of doing what I would imagine it to be. Not that I ran anything. You'd be able to do this so fast because you're smarter than me and it's annoying, but like 60-40, I would probably say like something close to that. But yeah, I'll take the field with the boom. Just you add a standard deviation to each one of those, the column there. I think it's got to be so 68,
17 fantasy points ahead of Cade Cunningham.
I'll take the field still.
I don't know what to make of it. I mean, like that's a lot. I mean, he's also $3,000 more expensive than Cade Cunningham, but 17 points is a really big number.
It's a gigantic number. I mean, you don't get a lot of slates like this. Like even some of the Giannis Luka slates we had earlier in the year, you'll have like 7-8 fantasy points. Jokic has a 68 next to his name right now. This is uncharted territory. This is like the James Harden, Russell Westbrook runs days of yore when they were putting up triple doubles and nobody knew what to do with their price tags. Nobody had any clue.
It's just what, like, he doesn't miss anymore. It's so insane. He's so damn good. Brunson, McBride, Bridges, Hart, Towns. Is that the real lineup?
Did that just come in? Brunson, McBride, Bridges, Harttown.
I just saw somebody type it in chat.
Finally, first start for Hart of the entire year. That's pretty wild. So, and we got the Adebayo Ware combo. They are starting next to him. Again, I said it at like 90.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna pull the plug on it.
Yep. Anyway, these were all good things to be able to do, and obviously I'll be able to mix that around and not have as much BAM here. But good show, and obviously let's do it again tomorrow.
There it is, everybody. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button on your way out the door. That helps a ton. If you want to sign up for anything in our orbit, Sims, Portfolio EV, Tails, the links are in the description. NFL Live Before Lock coming up in 15 minutes. Enjoy your football and enjoy your basketball, everybody.